I'm Mike, I'm a dentist. Let's talk a little bit about different modern trendy diets and how they influence our dental health. So exciting. Little disclaimer up front, I am not telling anyone to follow any of these diets, all right? I'm not saying that. I'm assuming that if you're altering your diet, you are doing so based on consultations with your own dietitians, nutritionists, or physicians, all right? I'm making this video because I believe that the foods and drinks we put in our bodies are important. Duh. I don't think we can underestimate the benefits of finding the right diet that fits your individual nutritional needs, but I also understand that the right diet for me isn't necessarily the right diet for you. Everyone's dietary needs are different. There's a lot of variation within general trends. I am not trying to tell you how to live, all right? I'm trying to give you information that you can adapt to your life as you see fit. Working as a dentist, I've met lots of patients who don't understand how diet affects the health of their teeth and gums. So I'm going to focus on how different dietary choices can affect your dental health. Diet is a key component of preventative medicine and dentistry. I want to help you keep your natural teeth healthy because fixing and replacing them isn't easy, and I know lots of people struggle to afford quality dental care. First diet, the Keto Diet. This is a low-carb, high-fat diet, similar to the Atkins diet if you remember that. If you stick with very low carbs, basically only getting your carbs from whole vegetables and some small amounts of certain fruits, your body starts burning fat for energy instead of relying on carbohydrates for energy. Carefully following a ketogenic diet can also be very healthy for patients with diabetes. To follow the keto diet, you need to limit carbs to around 20 to 50 grams per day. That can fluctuate based on how much you work out, but either way, that's not a lot of carbs. It's basically the opposite of everything many of us were told growing up in America, with grains and starches as the base of the food pyramid. So put it bluntly, whether you eat keto or not, that was a load of crap, okay? And it made us very sick as a country. We way overemphasized eating carbs and told people to get their carbs from the wrong sources. You want to get the majority of your carbs from whole vegetables. If you're aiming for keto, you also need to be careful not to have too much protein because we can convert high amounts of protein into glucose in our body. Glucose is a simple sugar, a carbohydrate. When you hear the term blood sugar, that's describing blood glucose levels. There are variations on the keto diet in terms of what percentage of your food should be fat versus carbs versus proteins, and I'm not a nutritionist or physician, so I'm not going to be telling you how to approach a keto diet or whether you should in this video. I'm just focusing on how it may affect the health of your teeth and gums. If it makes you feel any better, I've never done keto myself. I'm not trying to convert anyone to the keto way of life, I'm not a keto acolyte. But I think for some people this could be a healthy move, at least for a time period in your life. It's worth investigating and learning about, especially if you have type 2 diabetes. Okay, so as a dentist, how do I feel about the keto diet? This is actually really great for your teeth because fat and protein can't cause tooth decay. To get tooth decay, the bacteria in our mouth need to feed on carbohydrates or sugar, and they need to turn that into acid. The acid breaks down our teeth and causes cavities. Fat doesn't get turned into sugar. Now I know I said protein can be turned into sugar, but the process that does that, gluconeogenesis, a fancy word for the production of new glucose, remember, blood sugar is blood glucose. Gluconeogenesis, whereby protein is turned into sugar, that doesn't happen in the mouth. It happens in the liver, kidneys, intestine, muscle tissue, possibly parts of our nervous system, but it doesn't happen in the mouth. So the majority of the food you're eating on the keto diet, fat and protein, can't cause tooth decay. That's good. You may still be having a small amount of carbs on the keto diet, but as long as you brush and floss your teeth thoroughly once each night, you're going to be at a very low risk of developing cavities. Another tip is to rinse your mouth out thoroughly with water and/or chew sugar-free gum after you have carbs. Rinsing the sugars off your teeth right away limits the amount of time bacterial plaque have to convert the sugar into damaging acid. Chewing sugar-free gum stimulates saliva flow, which again rinses off your teeth. Saliva is sort of our natural tooth rinser offer. Saliva also contains minerals that get absorbed by teeth and help repair them if they have been damaged by acid. Saliva, very good for you. So your teeth are probably very safe on a ketogenic diet. Are there any other consequences for the mouth? Well, you may develop a fruity odor to your breath. That's because you're producing ketones in your body from breaking down fat for energy. Ketones smell fruity. Life's about trade-offs. You might have breath that smells a little fruity, patootie, but you won't be at high risk for cavities, and you'll potentially be reducing your risk for diabetes, controlling your diabetes better, or even reversing diabetes if you're type 2. Pretty exciting, no? Also, for many people, keto breath will subside after a number of weeks on a ketogenic diet. You can help reduce keto breath if it ends up being an issue for you by staying hydrated. We eliminate ketones from our body by exhalation, right? Breathing out through our lungs. That's why the breath can be smelly. But we also eliminate ketones by urinating. So if you hydrate up, you can excrete those ketones via your internal water slides hooked up to your kidneys. Also, brushing and flossing thoroughly keep bacteria around your teeth and gums at bay and help reduce bad breath. Cool? Cool. Our second diet we're considering, the Paleo Diet. The idea behind the Paleo Diet is to eat whole foods instead of ultra-processed foods. Whole foods means foods as they would be encountered in nature. Stuff you could pull off a tree or a bush or a flower or a vine. Animals that haven't been ground into mincemeat, bones, organs, everything included, and stuffed into a sausage casing. Whole vegetables. Whole chunks of unadulterated animal meat. Sorry, vegans, you can skip to your part of the video if you don't want to hear about this. I understand and I won't be offended. Unprocessed food, natural stuff that our Paleolithic ancestors ate, right? Apparently, they were a lot healthier than we are. Now, paleo guidelines allow for a lot of variation in how you customize a paleo diet to you. The idea is that a lot of ultra-processed modern food is making us sick by packing us full of high-calorie, low-nutrition foods. A calorie is a unit of energy. We release energy from our foods to fuel our body. We store energy from our foods as fat. If we have excess food energy, we pack it away in the body as fat. That's energy stored to be used later for a rainy day. Shoving high-energy food into your body does feel good momentarily. Boy, does it. That's why sugar feels so good. It tells your brain, wowee, a rush of energy. There's a dopamine spike. Wowee, you're ready to conquer the world. A rush of energy. The problem is, this isn't a sustainable long-term strategy. Shoving your body full of high energy or high calorie food isn't useful past a certain point. We get more than just energy from our food. There's a lot of stuff in our food that helps our body work like a well-oiled machine. The modern American diet is way too heavy on simple ultra-processed carbs. We need more from our food than that. There are a lot of other pieces and parts, nutrients, that our bodies need to function properly. Paleo is a way to get more nutrient-dense foods into your body. You're not going to get the same rush of energy, but you're going to be more satisfied overall. Your body will be on an even keel, and you'll be more stable instead of feeling full of energy and then crashing. Generally, your body will thank you for eating paleo. You don't have to shop at Whole Foods to follow the paleo diet, but that is the idea, to eat whole foods. Foods that appear as they would in nature, as opposed to stuff that we create and pack full of sugar and advertise to children with cartoons. That's a decent rule to follow if you live in America. If it's being advertised to minors during cartoons and children's TV shows, it's probably very unhealthy. Probably don't eat it, or at least only have it occasionally. I'm realistic. I don't think I'm going to be able to change the American diet for most people with some YouTube videos, but I'm still going to stupidly make the attempt. I'm a very stupid person. I'm a fool. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, so the paleo diet is trying to meet more balanced nutritional needs instead of just shoving you full of ultra-processed energy spikes that make you feel fat and sick. Again, that's good. What do I think about paleo as far as our teeth are concerned? Compared to the standard American diet these days, I'm going to say paleo is great for your teeth because the carbs you'll be eating are more often bound up in fibrous vegetables and fruits, so they don't stick to your teeth as easily. What am I talking about when I say that? Well, the most dangerous sugars for your teeth are simple sugars, especially sticky simple sugars. So if you eat a bunch of whole vegetables and whole fruits, the carbohydrates bound up in the fibrous matter of those fruits and vegetables isn't going to be as easily digested into acid by the bacteria in your mouth. Less simple sugars with easy access to your teeth That's good. Compared to the keto diet, you're still going to have more exposure to carbohydrates on the paleo diet. For example, you could eat unsweetened banana chips and it would be considered paleo. Those are a natural whole food. But bananas are loaded with sugar, and when you dry them out, banana chips are super sticky. Super sticky sugars that grab and hold onto your teeth get turned into acid by the bacterial plaque on your teeth, and that acid breaks your teeth down, causing cavities. Another way fruits and vegetables could be worse for your teeth on the paleo diet would be if you juiced them or blended them up. If you juice fruits and veggies or turn them into smoothies, you are giving readier access to simple sugars, both in your mouth and in the rest of your digestive system. So again, if you're going for paleo, it's best to eat whole fruits and veggies rather than grinding them up. You're also accessing a lot more calories when you're drinking juices and smoothies as well. But if you like juice and smoothies and you're not about to give those up, then just make sure to rinse your mouth out with water thoroughly after you have them. Rinsing that liquid sugar off of your teeth will help reduce your risk for cavities as well. Also, you don't want to brush your teeth right after having juice. Lots of fruit juice will be acidic, and acid softens teeth. If you brush right after acid exposure, you can erode your teeth more. So you want to wait 30 to 45 minutes to brush after having any acidic drinks, including juice. So, paleo can be a great option for lots of people, but you're still going to need to be a more careful brusher and flosser than someone on the keto diet. Not that you can skip brushing and flossing if you're keto, but you are at lower risk for tooth decay overall if you're on a keto diet. Brushing and flossing remove plaque from our teeth, but you still have to feed the bacterial plaque sugar to cause a cavity. If you brush and floss thoroughly the correct way every night and you limit carbohydrate exposure to your teeth, it's basically impossible to get cavities. Diet number 3, the Mediterranean diet. This is another popular one. It's considered a heart-healthy diet. I'm going to oversimplify my discussion of this one a lot. The Mediterranean diet is based around studies that have shown long lifespans in people living around the Mediterranean Sea. So maybe we should all just go live around the Mediterranean? These diets are high in vegetables, beans, and whole grains, as well as some fish and other seafood. Most of the fat in this diet comes from olive oil. You don't want to eat much red meat or sugar. This one is probably going to have more carbs than the paleo diet. Paleo is more okay with meat as long as it isn't processed. A larger portion of the Mediterranean diet will consist of carbs, but notice that these still aren't simple sugars. Complex carbs take more time and effort to digest than simple sugars. Eating whole grains is not as harsh on your teeth as a candy bar or dried fruit. So, if you follow the Mediterranean diet, which also focuses on natural foods as opposed to processed foods, I still think you're going to be doing your teeth a favor, even if you are eating more carbs. This would still be a significant improvement compared to the average American diet that we are all taught to eat from TV commercials and the way our grocery stores are organized. Have you ever noticed that? How grocery stores are organized to push unhealthy foods right in front of your face, and you have to go hunting to find the healthy stuff? It's messed up. I'd recommend reading the book Nudge by Richard Thaler and Cass Sunstein. It's all about behavioral economics and how you can nudge people to make different economic decisions subconsciously. We're all being nudged to be less healthy by the way our grocery stores are organized. It's very wrong. It's super messed up. Try to nudge yourself in a better direction. Anyway, the other thing that is cool about the Mediterranean diet is that it emphasizes more than just diet. It's more like a Mediterranean lifestyle because it puts emphasis on regular physical activity, sharing meals with other people, and minimizing stress levels. Physical activity, sharing meals with people you care about and who care about you, minimizing stress levels, that stuff is every bit as important as figuring out the right diet for you. I'm giving the Mediterranean diet bonus points for that. I love it. You might have noticed a pattern in all 3 of these diets so far. They recommend less processed foods and less processed carbs or added sugars. All of these diets have been found to have a variety of health benefits, and they all say that same thing. It's kind of interesting, kind of worth noting, Dare I say even anti-American? What do you mean no simple sugars and processed carbs added to the food? That's what the founding fathers in America said it was all about. Maybe not. Diet number 4. What about a vegetarian diet or vegan diet? There are lots of variations on vegetarian diets. Some people get rid of all meat, fish, poultry, eggs, and dairy. Others allow fish, pescatarians. Some are cool with eggs or dairy. Whatever version of vegetarian you decide is right for you, by eliminating a number of protein and animal fat sources, you may have a tendency to increase carbohydrate consumption. You need an energy source. A lot of the energy you get from plants is going to be in the form of carbohydrates. So just be aware of that. There are definitely still ways to get protein and fat from plants. If you're a vegetarian, I'm sure you know this. The other thing worth mentioning is that if you do allow dairy as part of your diet as a vegetarian, many dairy products like yogurt and milk can be quite high in sugar. Reduced fat milk is pumped full of sugar. That's not great. So I'm not going to say that being a vegetarian is bad for your teeth, right? I'm not saying that, but you are going to need to be a little more aware than the keto and paleo people. A higher portion of your diet is likely to come from carbs. That still does not doom your teeth, okay? Complex carbs are still better than simple carbs. Whole vegetables and fruits are still the best choice over the processed stuff, right? Brushing and flossing your teeth thoroughly each night is still very protective of your teeth in avoiding cavities. Good on you for caring about animals and their fair treatment and all of those wonderful, compassionate, vegan things, but don't forget to protect your teeth in the process. Plants can be very nutritious for your body, but you want to be eating natural, whole plant foods, stuff that is nutrient dense, not processed carbs that are packaged up in a box with a vegan compatible label. Vegan can be healthy, but just because it says vegan doesn't guarantee that it is. Bonus round, what about the low FODMAP diet? I don't know how many people will have even heard of this one, but it's very near and dear to my heart because it saved my butt. So I'm going to talk about it. Have you ever had anyone get near and dear to your heart because of what they did for your butt? That's how I feel about the low FODMAP diet. What is low FODMAP? FODMAP stands for fermentable oligomonosaccharides and polyols. What a mouthful. Jiminy Christmas. FODMAPs are short-chain carbohydrates that resist digestion. Instead of being absorbed into your bloodstream, they travel all the way down your intestine, and bacteria in the intestine turn them into hydrogen gas, which messes you up if you are sensitive to such things. You get gas, bloating, stomach cramps, pain, constipation. FODMAPs also draw liquid into your intestine, which can cause diarrhea. Let me tell you, boy can it. Is it possible to have constipation and diarrhea at the same time? Doesn't that seem like a paradox? It is not. It is very possible. Believe you me. Some examples of FODMAPs are fructose, that's in fruits and veggies, lactose, that's in dairy products like milk, fructans, those are in a bunch of grains like wheat, galactans, those are in legumes, beans, the musical fruit, polyols, those are sugar alcohols like xylitol, sorbitol, and mannitol. Xylitol, that's actually what's in sugar-free gum and can help prevent tooth decay. But if you have digestive sensitivity to it, it can mess up how your intestines feel. So here's the thing. Surveys have shown that up to 20% of people in the United States have IBS, most of them undiagnosed. I was one such person. Okay? IBS is confusing. It's gross to talk about. I don't care. If me embarrassing myself can help some of you schmucks, it'll be worth it. So IBS has no well-defined cause, but it is well known that diet can have a significant effect. Stress can also be a major contributor. Interestingly, adopting a low FODMAP diet may also have positive psychological benefits, as these digestive disturbances are known to cause stress and are strongly linked to mental disorders like anxiety and depression. It's like having my life history read back to me, you know? So here's the thing. I have a weird throat disorder called achalasia. I'm still not sure how to pronounce it. Basically, none of the nerves in my esophagus work properly. Normally, when you swallow food, you get something called peristalsis, rhythmic muscular contraction that pushes food down into your stomach. I don't have that. Also, there's the sphincter. That's a muscular ring. There's a sphincter between your esophagus and stomach that is supposed to open to allow food to pass into the stomach and then close to stop the stomach acid from getting back up into your esophagus. Well, that didn't work for me either. So this whole achalasia thing hit really hard my first year of dental school. It was extremely painful. Eating hurt a lot. I timed myself eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich once, and it took me over 50 minutes, which is, kind of insane. I lost like 30, 40 pounds in a few months when it happened. It took me almost a year and a half to get diagnosed, about 2 years to get treated. It's still not normal for me to eat, but it's way easier than it was before I had surgery. So I got lucky, very lucky in that respect, that the surgery worked well as can be expected. Anyway, I thought all of my digestive problems down lower were related to the achalasia stuff up top. Turns out, not so much. So I developed increasingly intense IBS symptoms. Didn't realize that was the case until many years later because I was stressed out and distracted and anxious and at different times depressed. All those things that seem to be related in some ways to IBS, which is interesting in retrospect. I don't know, there's some interesting research out there you can read about how serotonin is related to both depression and now possibly certain digestive issues. Anyway, basically my first several years out of dental school were an absolute stress-riddled nightmare of panic and awfulness, and it wasn't good for my mental health or my digestive system. And maybe those two things are interrelated. For whatever reason, it turns out when you have random stabbing knife pains in your abdomen throughout the day and night, it's hard to do things like focus on tasks or fall asleep. Why am I telling you this? Doesn't this seem horribly off topic? Well, I'm trying to relate and share why I think diet is such a powerful thing for improving health. Honestly, there's some really great news at the end of this story. I did not believe in this whole low FODMAP diet thing when I first encountered it. I thought it was a bunch of hokey BS. How could a diet possibly resolve the insane amounts of intense, consistent, and in some cases debilitating pain I was feeling? I wasn't eating unhealthy, processed foods. I was eating whole foods. I was eating an apple a day. That's supposed to keep the doctor away. Turns out, apples full of FODMAP-y stuff that's not good for me. Who'da thunk it? I mean, I had plenty of days I was borderline useless because of how much pain I was in. It was it was kind of all I could do to just distract myself from being conscious. I couldn't focus on anything. How was a diet supposed to fix that? Wasn't there something I needed in terms of another pill or a surgery? Isn't that what fixes the big, scary medical problems in life all the time, right? That's what we rely on. So I didn't believe in the whole low FODMAP thing, and I kind of half-heartedly tried it. I eliminated some of the foods I was told to get rid of, didn't see any consistent changes, and abandoned the effort. But the dirty little secret about this whole low FODMAP thing is that you have to fully commit. You can't do it halfway. It's a very strict and demanding diet. It's not easy to commit to at all. Your food life gets very, very boring. Why then did I end up switching to a low FODMAP diet? Basically, I was desperate. Life kind of sucked. I was in a crazy amount of pain all the time. It was stressing me out like mad. I wasn't sleeping. I needed something to change, okay? I was desperate. So I went cold turkey and I eliminated every single food I wasn't supposed to eat based on a couple of low FODMAP books that I read. And in a few days, I felt unbelievably amazing. Just amazeballs. As much pain as I was in, as much as the pain was crazy, it was equally crazy how good I immediately felt. I will never underestimate the power of eating the right foods ever again, okay? I felt a million bajillion times better, to the point that it shocked me. I couldn't remember what life felt like to not have my stomach hurt. It was weird to not be in pain. Pain was the baseline. Pain was normal. To be without pain was what is this? It was nuts. So I'm sharing that because I understand that diet and food and drinks and all of this can be a very touchy subject for people. Lots of us feel we're being judged by others for our dietary choices. I'm not judging anyone's diet because my own diet is super weird and niche and bizarre. I understand that the food everyone puts in their body is this weird emotional decision. It's tied into how you were raised and the social groups you're a part of. I just know from personal experience how incredibly powerful dietary change, even radically uncomfortable dietary change, I know how unbelievably beneficial that can be to personal health and well-being, And I fought that for a very long time. I have achalasia, I have IBS. Both of those massively restrict what I am able to eat and drink and how I am able to eat and drink it. But I'm also so glad that I made the changes that I did, because it has improved how I feel and my ability to do things, do what I want to do in life. It's improved all of that in unbelievable ways. So, food is a huge part of life. It's something that brings people together in different social environments. So if you're the odd person out, not eating and drinking the way other people are, it can be weird. You can feel sort of socially, distant or whatever, a little bit ostracized. Two things I would say about that if you're having those feelings. One, if the people around you really care about you, they will respect the decisions you make about how you choose to take care of your body, But also, you need to return the favor and treat them with the same level of respect, right? You don't need to push your dietary choices and advice on them, all right? If they want to learn about it, let them know. But if they aren't interested, then it's not your place to try to change up how they're doing their life, okay? That's number one. And I say that knowing that I'm telling you all this information about diet, okay? You can stop watching the video at any time. Two, if you find yourself in unsupportive social environments when you are trying to make a change to what and how you eat, then seek out more supportive social environments. If you want to get healthy, it's best to hang out around other people who are trying to get healthy in the same ways that you are. We are products of our social environments. Part of the reason America is getting so sick is we have a weird national pride in eating foods and drinking drinks that are generally unhealthy. I'm not blaming anyone in particular for this, right? We get advertised to from a very young age to eat and drink things that aren't great for us. It's a lot easier for food and beverage companies to sell people instant gratification. That's a faster way to make a buck. They're going to follow their profit incentive. I'd expect nothing less from any business. The only way I see to combat this is to advertise healthier foods and drinks and their benefits to people. And that's hard, that's really hard, but I'm gonna try to do it anyway. Is low FODMAP good for your teeth? Generally, I'd say it can be. Proteins and fats don't really cause these digestive problems. Remember, FODMAPs are carbs. So if you were following a keto diet, you'd likely be close to a low FODMAP diet already. You do still have to be careful about certain vegetables and fruits. You'd want to be specific about what carbs you allow yourself to have. You could incorporate a low FODMAP diet into a Paleo diet or Mediterranean diet or even a vegetarian diet. If you have any significant digestive discomfort, I would strongly recommend looking into it. The research on all this is relatively new, it's evolving. A lot of it came out of nutritional research at Monash University in Australia. If you're looking for resources about it, that's a nice place to start. I'll link to Monash University in the video description. So that's your weird dietary bonus knowledge that you didn't ask for. Technically, I'm a mouth doctor, but the mouth is the gateway to the rest of your digestive system. And I have enough personal experience with this, and it affects enough people that I thought it would be worth mentioning. Feel free to ask dental questions or low FODMAP questions in the comments. I hope all of this is helpful. I don't mean for anything I'm saying here to cause a diet panic for anyone. At the end of the day, you don't have to follow any diet, perfectly in order to be healthy. Eating nutritious whole foods regularly is a great goal, but I get it. We all fall short of our goals. Life happens. Just do your best and try to feel out what works well for you as an individual. I understand that making dietary changes is very hard. It takes a lot of effort. Much of it comes down to planning ahead and structuring your food environment at home to line up with your goals. This video is long enough, but if you want to make a behavioral change of any kind, my go-to book recommendation is Atomic Habits by James Clear. That is a book full of practical advice based on psychological research on human behavior change. If you want to become a better version of you, start there. Atomic Habits, James Clear. He doesn't tell you to do anything specific. He tells you how to reach your own self-identified goals. I'm actually planning a series of videos based on many of the principles in that book to help improve your dental health. Right now, I'm trying to build a library of informational videos so people know how to keep their teeth and gums healthy, but information is only so helpful. I also want to give you practical tips on how to make this information improve your life. Behavior change is a lot more about emotional motivation than it is about intellectual info. So I'm working on putting together those videos. That'll be coming in the future, and I'm sure it will fall short in some ways. So please like, subscribe, and comment on this and other videos so that I can improve what I'm doing in ways that will actually help people get healthier. That's the goal. I don't want to just be blowing a bunch of hot air out of my mouth here. I want this to actually make a difference for people in their real life. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. See you later.